Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and welcome back to my continuing coverage of the Dallas International Film Festival. And I got another one to review for you guys. This one is a doozy in the best way possible. I'm here to review Tower. Now, if you don't know what this movie is, let me pull up the plot synopsis and let me go ahead and read it to you. Nearly 50 years ago, a gunman rode the elevator to the 27th floor of the University of Texas Tower and opened fire. Tower, an animated and action-packed documentary, shares the untold story of that day when the worst in one man brought out the best in many others. Oh, man. Where to begin? All right. I'm going to tell you this right now before I start in my review. This is definitely one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, just from the way it was told, from the emotional impact it had, and for the brilliant blend of, like, it felt like a narrative, but it's like we're watching real life events, and it was just kind of like just your jaw was just dropped the entire time while watching this. So let's get real and break down Tower. So let's start with the directing. Now, you can't really do writing on directing or on documentaries because it's the story is based off of the interviews and stuff. So how did the director do? Because he's the one that brought the vision to life and really got the best type of material out of the interviews. I got to tell you, he does a superb job. Starting with the documentary interviews and stuff, the interviews are handled very, very well, and it brings out such an emotional punch for all these people that witnessed that day. And it's kind of just really gripping, and just it's almost like if you go to your grandparents' house and you have them tell a story from when they were in college or whatever. You were that glued to the screen as they are talking. But it's not just the material they get out of these people that were there and experienced this. It's the way this movie is presented. This movie is presented in an animated mix with the actual footage and with the actual people in their interview shots and stuff. And it's like this really cool, seamless blend of a bunch of different type of art styles into this documentary. And I was just kind of blown away. The animation is amazing. It is colorful. It is vibrant, which is an interesting contrast given the horror of the situation at hand. So the animation is handled very, very well. All the reenactments that they do with all the younger people, that was handled very well. Blending that with real life footage from that day, that was amazing to watch. It was just told in such a unique way that I think it could capture the attention of everyone, just like the director said last night. If he did a normal documentary with just old footage and interviews and stuff, a lot of young people would probably tune out and they would find it boring or whatever. And the fact that he wanted to do it animated to bridge that 50-year gap to reach people my age or even younger, that's just that is a true director right there, really thinking outside the box to make sure this movie is seen by as many people as possible. And so all the art styles are great for this documentary. It's just so unique and so just amazing and gripping. And diving into the whole like narrative split with this documentary, it felt like a movie. It's an hour and a half long, and it is action-packed from start to finish. I don't mean that in the rudest way because this is a real-life event, but it felt like I was watching just a movie. I didn't feel like I was watching real-life events. And then when it sinks into you that this happened 50 years ago on a campus, it's like, wow. Like, it's just amazing that human beings could actually be pushed to that extreme to want to do something like that. So I thought the kind of like that blend of the narrative and documentary feel of it was just impressive because even though this was based on a real life event, a movie's objective is to entertain. And on that level, it does entertain. It's informative, it's entertaining, and it kind of really puts you in these people's shoes that experienced it that day. And in a way, as an audience member, like towards the end of the movie, you feel like you were there with them because the animation is so engrossing, and you just you get lost in it. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. As far as the way the movie is structured, in terms of what they focus on the most, they focus on the people that were there, like 99% of the time. the director does dabble into the shooter just a little bit in terms of saying what he did before he went to the tower and his background in the military, and that was it. And I was thinking as I was watching, I was like, should we have shown a little bit more of the shooter? And the director, said last night, he was like, no, that's not the route we wanted to go. We really wanted to focus on the people that came together as a community and really try to help each other out in this horrific situation. And so once he said that, I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You really don't need that. Just the basic thin kind of level that you have of the shooter that is presented in the film, that's fine. That's good enough. And the other thing I was worried about was they weren't going to show kind of a standpoint on the shootings nowadays, because that's why this movie was made. This was technically the first campus shooting that we've had in America on that type of scale, and it was in August 1st, 1966, almost 50 years ago to the day in about 4 months. And this movie was made because with the current state that we're in with all these recent shootings and stuff, and the fact that it's just natural nowadays, like that's shocking to me. And I think the director really wanted to put in the forefront, like, yo, this has happened for many, many decades. But now that it's more prevalent in our culture and it's just natural, something needs to be done about that and regulate, guns and whatnot. So I thought the director did a really good job just handling all the subject matter and the sensitive material with the people that were there and experienced it. So from the art style to the mix of narrative and documentary filmmaking to the way it was presented, to the fact that he handled the material very, very well. The director is the definite star of this movie, and the animators for sure, because the animation is pretty awesome. You can't do acting in documentaries, so you gotta skip that section. Cinematography-wise, all the reenactments and all the shots that are composed in this documentary are really, really well handled. Like I said, it felt cinematic. It felt very wide scope, and it was just, I think that's what the animation really brought out, is it brought that kind of like cinematic feel to it to really kind of immerse us into this situation to make us more emotionally attached, which is amazing, because I felt emotionally attached to all these people that went through this and stuff. And it was just really kind of hard to listen to them, but people need to understand that this happened, and this was a terrible, terrible thing in, Texas history. So, the cinematography is beautiful. It's luscious. It's rich with color. The black and white shots mixed in with the color, or the black and white animated mixed in with the footage. It's all seamless. It's all, it felt like it almost felt like a foreign film at some points, because I've seen some animated foreign films that are kind of like on that animated level, and that's what it felt like. And that's not a jab at it by any means. That is a good thing. So yeah, the cinematography was just absolutely gorgeous. As far as editing goes, movie's an hour and a half. I kind of wish they would have dabbled a little bit more into gun control and stuff of like today and stuff, but I'm not going to fault them for that, because they do touch on it briefly at the very end. And it was kind of really powerful to see like a news anchor from the 60s talk about this horrific situation. And then you overlay it with the footage of like recent school shootings. This kind of, it kind of stings you a little bit, because you're like, oh, wow. Like, they were talking about this 50 years ago, and it's still happening today. So as far as the editing of the film, it's action-packed. It is engaging as all hell. I absolutely love this documentary to death. And before I get my grade, I want to go on a spiel just for a little bit. So if you don't want to hear about this, skip ahead. So Texas has passed a law that you can open carry on campuses. And that law goes into effect August 1st, 2016, which is 50 years to the day on this event. So, yeah, that's pretty dumb on your part, government of Texas. This doesn't even need to get political, but I am totally against that. There's a lot of people against that. There's no reason to bring a gun to school. Like, you're not John Wayne, okay? Leave your gun at home. go to school, go to class, and then go back home, coddle with your gun because apparently you can't live 2 seconds without it, and then you can go to sleep with it. You can put little pajamas on your pistol or whatever, and you just go to sleep and just know, someone will coddle you and tell you it's okay. You don't have to be so fearful all the freaking time. I think that's one thing that drives me crazy about gun control, is that all these people that own guns, they think they want to take guns away. No, you idiots. They want to control them. They want to legislate them. They want to, not make sure, freaking people with mental health issues are running rampant in the streets with them. You idiots. Like, there's no reason you should go anywhere with a gun that's like a public place, like a mall or like a restaurant. There was a couple stories that I saw back in the day where, like, back in the day, as in like a few months ago, there was a guy that with an AK-47 just going to pick up his daughter from the airport. Why do you need that? Why do you need to carry a gun with you to an airport? Okay, like, especially an AK-47. Like, you think something bad's gonna happen? You're gonna be the hero? No, it doesn't work that way, you idiot. A restaurant. Why do you need to bring it into a restaurant and scare people like that? There's just no need to. And it's the same way, like, what do you think? Someone's going to steal your cheeseburger? Like, are you that fearful? Well, it's amazing. It's the same thing that goes with college campuses. If I was sitting in class and I saw someone with a gun on their hip, how is that supposed to make me feel at ease? Like, that would make me feel more nervous that person could literally pull that gun out at any moment and shoot someone. That makes us more fearful. The people holding the gun, they're the ones filled with fear. But it's the people on the outside that go, why are you bringing that to class? That is what's going to cause the fear, and something bad is going to happen if you bring open carry on campuses. Like, it's just dumb. And I think the governor of Texas needs to watch this movie and be like, oh, wow, I probably shouldn't put this into effect type of deal. There's no reason you should bring a gun to class. Go to class, do your work, and then go home and coddle your guns. My dad owns guns. My dad thinks it's stupid. Why would you want to bring a gun to any public place? Yeah, makes no sense. Yeah, when you really think about it, it's kind of dumb. And so watching this movie just kind of puts you in that forefront of the discussion of, like, why on earth do we need this? Why do we need this law? It's because people are fearful, and it drives me crazy that this law is going to go into effect, and there's a lot of people against it and stuff, and just something bad's going to happen, and then everyone's going to be pointing at you and be like, well, what did you think was going to happen, you morons? Tower is a very powerful film. It's a really well-done documentary. It's a different documentary. It's one of the best I've ever seen. I love the animation. I love the way it was constructed. This is an amazing film. I'm going to give Tower an A+. Sorry for that little rant there, but it just had to be said. It's just a dumb freaking law. Just stop it. No one's taking your guns away. Keep your guns in your house. Go hunt with them. Do whatever you want with them. Just don't bring them to public places. Don't bring them to schools. Just idiotic. All right, so have you seen Tower? Have you even heard of it? Comment in the place with my face and let me know. And I don't even know how to end this. I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next from the Dallas International Film Festival. This is definitely one of the best ones by far. I think it's my favorite one, so I will catch you guys later.